Right guys, it's Andy the GD script dude here with a little bit of background information about how I go about developing the projects to present in the tutorials. And what I do, I have another Godot Engine project called Tetrix Experiments in this case. And today I was wanting to create a main scene, but at the same time I wanted to add music to it, audio features. And I was playing around before I had a music button. It's going to have music on or music off. And when I played around with the logic, it just got confusing, you know, like the button said music on. So if you pressed it, then the music would play. And then the text would change to music off. And when you actually tried it out, like imagine when you're playing the game and you see this thing and music's playing, you click it and it just didn't work out. It just became a mess. This is what happens when you go through the development process trying things out. So I ended up changing the GUI to removing that button, and I decided to have checkbox controls. Like music, you can just check it on or off. And then also I was thinking, well, you know, there's going to be sound effects, so you know, you may want the music on or off, the background music, but you might still want the sound effects or not. So you're in the office, you know, your lunch break, and you want to play something and you haven't got headphones, but you need to mute the sound. So you know, you need the two things, there's music and sound. So with these buttons that toggle on and off don't really work in that scenario, I think. So we've got checkboxes now. So we had to change the GUI, and then they have different signals. They transmit the signals, like select the music and then the node. Then we've got a signal, and when I tested the signal before, with the ordinary buttons, it's okay to just go on the button down signal up there. But for this one, the logic was kind of delayed, you know, like if I went, this has the button down signal, of course, as you can see. But when you go to detect the state of this checkbox, it's not changed yet on the button down. So I had to change it to the button pressed signal. So that's the kind of things that we have to go through when we're, you know, developing our game and testing things. So if I included all that material in the video, it'd be like going around in loops and, you know, backwards and forwards. So in my actual tutorial, I present what I've found that actually works. So there's a little bit of background there. And let's have a quick run of this game as it is now. And we have an OGG file loaded, OGG. It's called, it's for like continuous, like kind of music, longer tracks of music, as opposed to sounds, which are better as WAV files, just like, you know, I'll have when the blocks in this Tetris-like game are falling down, they'll go like ping pong, and then effects, you know. But then maybe kind of a background music. I've got one here that isn't perfect. Anyway, this is I've done a lot of the code now for the main scene, which has state controls. There's going to be like 3 videos coming. One is about the audio features, how I've done the audio. The next is about the state control, and after that will be data saving and loading. So it'll like remember your settings for music. Did you want it to be on or off, and the sound effects on or off, and that kind of thing. Let's run it anyway. You can see the logic in action and the states in action, I should say. So new game, see the pause button is blanked out, disabled, and then we can start a new game. And then I've got a test feature that simulates the game has ended. And if you look down here in the output window, I'm outputting diagnostic messages. So it said game was playing, the music was stopped, and then the game stopped, and so forth. Let's click on this so you can enable the music. And if we start a new game, music, if we pause and resume, notice how the music cut off and then came back on when it resumed. And I clicked resume, and then I've only got like 3 seconds at the moment in the code to say start again. We can have a look at the code in a minute. And so now you see music is on, so when we start it should start the music. 3 seconds later, bing, the game is off, and then the game finishes, and then the music is still on, but we can click off and then the game, silence, no music, and then the game times out. Like that. I haven't done anything with sound. Oh, I have actually. I've put in diagnostic messages for the sound effects. Click that. You can see change sound setting appears as a message there. Click it again. It's another message. So that's where we are now. I've done all this code and ready to create the tutorial around it. You can have a quick glimpse of the code if you like. The GUI code here. At the top we've got some public variables to say the music. We call music and sound. Music means if it's true value, it means we want to play the music. If sound is true, we want sound effects. So, and then we've got set get methods. I'll explain that in the tutorial, which call these functions called local functions. The underscore means local, not exposed to the outside world. So we have music set, music get. So these functions like music set, where is it? Up here, music set, for example, it's going to be true or false. We input the value we want, and then we've got the code to find the node based on its name for that checkbox, and then set its value, set it to the pressed value, true or false, and then we've got music get, it gets the current setting of it. So these are like polled, you know, so that when the game starts, it can load data from the settings on the server. That's the tutorial 3 I mentioned, and it will set them up according to the states they were saved as, and during the game, if someone clicks it during the game, they want to change it, then we have to respond to signals. So the signals will be like the on music button was pressed or the on sound button was pressed, i.e. the checkbox value was changed, and then it's going to emit a signal in our standard thing that we've implemented in the GUI code of the button press signal with the name of it, of the music button or the sound button. And yeah, and then we've got a new scene called the main scene, where we have an instance of the GUI, and we have a new music player. Check out what do we do first? Check out the music player and the inspector, and then we have a stream. We have our music in there, and it's going to be playing. Maybe that's not the best track to play with a Tetris game, a bit too funky. But anyway, this is a quick update on the behind the scenes of what I've been doing. See you later.